Hey, what's up? How you doing? Do you like things that are kinda creepy but don't really rely on cheap jump scares? Well, if your answer to that question is a resounding yeah, sure, I guess, then I think you're in for a real treat. Welcome back to Where Are We Now? The digital exploration series that puts the ratio in exploration. I'm your host Logan from Earth, but you knew that already. We're exploring some more maps for Garry's Mod today. Shocking, I know. Call the New York Times. For the last couple of weeks, I've been scouring the pages like a starving madman, scrolling past hundreds of useless save files and crusty dupes to find us some good eats. And I'm happy to say that we're about to be eating good. In this episode, we're returning to the theme of maps that just don't feel right. Whether it's because they might actually be haunted or because they're host to cosmic horrors the likes of which the world has never seen before, this episode is all about exploring maps that feel like they do not want us there. These are the maps that get under your skin and stick to your memory, like that embarrassing thing you said in Discord that one time. The ones that are freaky, but not in your face about it. Effective horror without loud jump scares is a difficult thing to pull off. I've always had the utmost respect for it. As always, special thanks to all my amazing Patreon supporters. You guys are incredible. Before we dive into these unwelcoming worlds, though, it's time for a little word from this video's sponsor. Now, I'm on the record as saying that I'm only ever going to advertise high-quality products that I believe my audience would actually be interested in. That's why when FlexiSpot reached out to me and offered to send me their new C7 Max ergonomic chair, I thought, yeah, who doesn't love sitting in a comfy chair? Weirdos, that's who. If you're anything like me, you spend hours at your desk. Whether it's for gaming or for working, those hours add up. And it's very important to have a chair that's comfortable and supportive for your back on those long hours. This is my old chair. It's got poor support and it's stiff as a board. So naturally, the C7 Max was a game changer for me. Everything is adjustable. The headrest moves on multiple axes and the height of the entire backrest is adjustable up and down. So no matter what your height is, the C7 Max has got your back. Excuse the pun. The lumbar support is a new original design that supports both your lumbar region and your sacrum, moving with you as you lean. Not only that, but it's also got customizable seat depth, options for mesh or foam seat cushion, and one of my favorite features, a 5D armrest that can support your arms while sitting up, reclining with the optional footrest, or even while sitting cross-legged. I've been using the FlexiSpot C7 Max for a couple weeks now, and it's been very nice for both sitting up and working and leaning back while I'm relaxing. Check the link in the description to grab your very own FlexiSpot C7 Max risk-free with their 30-day return policy. You can use the code C750 to get $50 off your order. And hey, if that's still too steep for you, they've got plenty of other high-quality chairs to choose from, like the C5 or the C7 Morpher. Thanks to FlexiSpot for reaching out. Okay, let's get back to the video. Those maps aren't going to explore themselves. The first lugubrious locale on the list today is labeled GMK9 by Krazart. It's a recreation of the K9 storage facility from the multimedia analog horror series The Walton Files. To sum it up for the people who don't know, The Walton Files is basically this. A restaurant called Bond's Burgers has some gross-looking animatronic characters in the 70s. After a series of horrific incidents, Bond's Burgers is forced to close. Sound familiar? Stay with me here. Those animatronics, which may or may not be the reason for the accidents, are shipped away along with the rest of Bond's Burgers' assets, and stored in a bunker that's located deep in the forest. And that's where this map takes place, the K9 storage facility. I'm skipping over a lot of detail, but that's the long and short of it. The actual Walton Files series on YouTube is pretty interesting. I think the documentary and found footage approach does a lot to set it apart from Five Nights at Freddy's. Now listen. I am far and away from the side of Gmod YouTube that's comprised of people spawning next bots on maps like this, and screaming bloody murder the moment they see a single frame of some bloodied Sonic model running after them. I find that the trend of turning Garry's Mod into a scream slop factory sidesteps the artistry and creativity involved in it. I've got nothing against people who enjoy or make stuff like that. I'm just saying that it's not for me, and it's not what this channel's about. So from the outside looking in, damn, this map looks good. The first thing that catches my eye is this bloodstain on the ground and how it looks very fresh. It doesn't take that long for blood to harden and turn brown once it leaves your body, so this must have been left here like today. It looks like arterial bleeding. If only they kept a first aid kit in the bathroom here. Wow, this place could use some work for sure. They're not even stocking it with toilet paper. Those are paper towel rolls. Those aren't going to flush well at all. What has the world come to? If this place was built in the 70s or the 80s, then that no smoking sign probably didn't get much mileage. Imagine trying to tell a security guard in the 80s not to smoke on a long and boring night shift. You'd have more luck trying to tell a college student not to use AI. Or any company nowadays, for that matter. One cool feature of this room is that if you hit these switches, you can close the shutters for an amount of time to keep the ghoulies out. Once the meter reaches 0, That's... Wow, that's really annoying. So let's not do that again. Actually, that's not attached to the door at all. That song just plays randomly on this map. Thank God for the stop sound console command. Jesus. You know, it's one thing to have your animatronics look creepy because they're weathered from age, but if this is what Bon here looked like from the outset, then I have to wonder if Bunny Smiles had anyone else sign off on these character designs, or if it was just one guy espousing his weird, unsettling vision. First off, let's not dance around it. This thing is built like a truck, man. Look at those quads. And second, that is not a kid-friendly smile. That's the smile of someone who wants to sell you counterfeit luxury jewelry off the New Jersey Turnpike. If you're a parent and you took your kid to Bon's Burgers when this was their main mascot, then you might just be stupid, I'm sorry. We're in a loading bay of some sort. Is that the outside? Whoa, looks like something's breached containment. Was it that freaky rabbit? Yeah, I should mention that I'm not like a Walton Files scholar or anything. I only watched a video or two on it a couple weeks ago. So I'm not gonna turn a corner and see a bloodstain and be like, no way, this must be where Charlie Cheesebutt hacked off Eddie Robinson's arms and legs. I have only a cursory knowledge of it, so naturally I'm bound to misinterpret stuff. Feel free to point things out to me in the comments. So, was Bon's Burgers just one restaurant or was it a chain? Because if it was just one, then this bunker being used for storage is definitely overkill. How'd they have this much stuff? Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of unfinished walls and exposed insulation. Whatever they were lining this place up to be, it clearly never got completely finished. I wonder why. This payphone plays music. Oh no, show tunes! The scariest thing of all! Sandwiches. Without the E. Brie and figs. Gorgonzola. Pork with a C. Wow, these all sound awful. Have they never heard of a PB&J? Or maybe a turkey club, you freaks? Brie and figs, jeez. I honestly did not expect this elevator to work. So we're down in a lower level now and I found this big room. We've got golf with your friends grass on the floor, a painterly cloud pattern on the walls, and a stage. Why is there a stage here? I thought K9 was just a storage facility. Is it for the staff karaoke nights? Obviously not, but can you imagine? I guess it could be a testing site to see how the animatronics perform in front of a test audience. That would make sense if Bunny Smiles was looking to sell their designs to other restaurants or reopen at some point. Looking at the size of this place, Bon's Burgers screams front to me. They were doing something heinous behind closed doors and they needed a disguise. There is no way the assets of a single closed Chuck E. Cheese-esque restaurant would need a bunker this big. Nor is there any way Bunny Smiles could afford this place if a single crusty burger joint was their prize pig. I'm sure it's a whole network of horrors they're orchestrating. By now there might be a couple of you wondering what these big machines we keep seeing are. They just let you turn the lights on and off in some of the rooms. It seems like an awful lot of hardware to replicate a light switch, which I'm pretty sure they had in the 70s. Maybe this is why they went out of business. They were playing light switch chess when they only needed to be playing light switch checkers. Hey, check this out. This appears to be a relatively ordinary restroom with the stalls lined up along the wall right here. But then with this one, the environmental storytelling sure seems to be implying that somebody was snatched up while they were doing their business. by something with enough strength to bust through a concrete wall. God damn, dude. I mean, they have to be making these animatronics with ill intent in mind, right? Why else would you give the servos enough strength to bust through a wall like this? That's like boosting a forklift with nitrous so that it lifts better. And to lend even more credence to the whole what were they thinking vibe we've got going on here, this dead-end room has quite a large mural of a sun painted on it. Why would you put so much work into this room? What was it for? Awful taste, but admittedly great execution. I can totally see someone who's way into the Joker having this tattooed on their thigh or something. The soundscape of the K9 storage facility's lowest level is composed of the constant hum of heavy machinery. The steady droning sound of it interrupted occasionally by the distant scraping of metal on concrete coming from somewhere. In this room is the generator that powers the entire bunker. You better be careful around it though, because once it gets turned off, you have to wait a few minutes before you can even start it back up again. That's more than enough time for some murder to happen. And that's pretty much all I could find on this map. Honestly though, credit where it's due, this place is really nicely detailed. The missing tiles in the ceiling exposing the wiring and insulation above is really realistic for a place this old and decrepit. There's chipping paint and graffiti everywhere down here, and that put together with all the water damage, exposed pipes, and crusty Fazbear-inspired decor makes for a supremely creepy place to be in. Aside from that song that plays every so often, the sound design is great too. There were a couple times where the ambient sounds got the hair on the back of my neck to stand up, even causing me to turn around and check my 6 at one point. There's a bunch of good-looking hiding spots too. Most of the lockers open up and there are plenty of vents you can use to sneak around. This map would be really well suited for the hide-and-seek and murder game modes. Or hey, I'm sure it works well for just spawning some scary thing in and letting it hunt you down too. I only wish it was a little bit bigger. This is a really great map krazart has made here. I think I speak for a lot of people when I say that I look forward to any updates they might have planned for it. Okay, I think we've long overstayed our welcome here at K9, so let's split and load into the next map, shall we? So here we are, finally. It's been a long time coming. This is Void Places by pinkblack, the first part of a larger series of maps. It's been highly requested, and I never got around to it until now. It looks like we're in an office of sorts. I already feel really weird. Looking out the window, I can see nothing. There's no moon or stars. There's simply nothing there. I think I've had dreams like this before. Or were they nightmares? I don't remember. The door out to the hallway is locked, but luckily the keys are right here. And now the clock is on. Damn, 2:22? Like AM? I need to clock out before payroll comes after me. What the hell was that? Is the flamingo parade in town? Oh, that's not the sun. What the hell happened to the outside? I mean, there's buildings there now, but they look wrong. Is this the end of the world? No overtime is worth this. Alright. Well, I'm not dead, so that's a start. Are there other people around? There's gotta be somewhere. There's some graffiti written on that building over there, which is perplexing because it says that is not the sun, but it had to have been there before the not sun arrived. That tells me that this isn't the first time that this has happened. Maybe our new pink overlord comes and goes as it pleases. I guess I better go and take a look around. You know, as offices go, this one's pretty nice. Looks like that's the reception desk down there. I have to say, they did a great job with the lighting here. The pink feels so aggressive and sinister coming in through the skylights up there. It's like I'm about to be abducted by Princess Peach or something. There are way worse fates than that, am I right, fellas? I took some stairs up and it led me to this massive vent. Why is it so damn big? It's not like it's moving air to a space that really needs it if it just leads to this tiny, stuffy room. There's an arrow pointing down, which I don't trust, but there's no other way to go. Oh, well, this is nice. This office building is swankier than I thought it was. You have to be a pretty successful company to have an employee pool. We're talking Google levels of employee perks here. You know, uploading to YouTube full-time now, I technically work for Google too. So where's my swimming pool, huh? I think the false sky texture thing normally feels pretty suffocating, but something about the execution here makes it less so. I think it just looks good. Yeah, nobody's around. This is really freaky. Where'd they all go? Did the sun eat them? The workshop page does mention that it's as if reality itself is being digested. I guess it makes sense that I'd be left behind in that case. I feel like I'd give the sun bubble guts. Is that an exit? I guess not. Now it's just me and this vending machine labeled 1. Any snacks? No, it just makes a boom sound effect, and you can't eat sound effects, so bye. Is this a way outside? So yeah, this intercom announcement yaps a lot about non-Euclidean areas and why you shouldn't explore them. So, the pink sun showing up must be a pretty regular thing if this world has emergency announcement systems ready to go for just such an occasion. Look at this scene building, man. This looks so good. The tall vertical buildings raise up into an unnaturally pink sky, like bespoke monuments to solitude. The ash drifts down from the sky all around you before settling on the concrete far below, where eerie, droning noises emanate from. And the 2 windows with the lights on inside hint at life and energy within, despite everything. There must be people inside, hiding from the sun, barricading their doors and windows, and that's who the announcements are for. I wonder what the story is with this tree. It looks so out of place, like a different world is leaking into this one. It looks like a set piece straight out of Abiotic Factor. That game isn't as popular as it should be. I mean, it's well known, but for a survival crafting game with such a unique setting and with so many fresh ideas, I expected it to make an even bigger splash. I mean, it's an open-world survival game heavily based on Half-Life. Come on, people, where's the love? I miss the old sun. Me too, man. Me too. This corridor leads to an apartment, and it's not too bad. Even though that ceiling fan is too small to cool a room of this size, it does tell us that the electricity works fine here. So far, if we're talking survival, this is your best bet for a home base. It's got a bed, a kitchen, a TV, and 2 bathrooms. That's so weird. I don't think I've ever seen an apartment that's 1 bed, 2 bath. I guess you could sublet it. I've slept in a tub before. It's not comfortable, but it works. From this apartment, you can get a good look at the streets outside. The cars are just sitting there, with their lights on. Those 2 look like they were in a collision. It's almost as if the drivers were suddenly spirited away. But we've established that there must be people around and that not everybody disappeared. Maybe if you're caught outside at the very moment the not sun appears, you get zapped and you disappear forever. Maybe they weren't safe inside their cars because they had their windows rolled down. And maybe I'm going insane trying to understand just what's going on here. It's the pink. The pink is getting to me, and it's not a euphemism this time. Jimmy was here. What, like Jimmy Gibbs Jr., racing legend? Where is he? Maybe I can get an autograph. Ah, who am I kidding? Everybody knows that Jimmy Gibbs Jr. died of ligma years ago. Whoa. What a pit. It just goes down and down. There's some sort of mist down there that gets thicker the further in it goes. I wonder what's down there. There's somebody watching me from across the courtyard. Is that Jimmy? Hey, you know I can see you, right? I know I have an unusual look about me, but where I come from, it's pretty rude to stare. No response. Well, whatever. As long as they stay up there in their own room, I'll be fine. If a pitch black figure starts crip walking at me from down the hall, I think I'm just gonna close the game. Oh, it's just a cardboard cutout. Some prankster kid is probably filming me from somewhere right now to be uploaded on YouTube. Well, joke's on you, kid. I'm uploading it myself. Cardboard doesn't scare me. Cardboard cuts do, though. Those are nasty. It's a Christmas tree. Very nice, and it's only like 3 weeks late. The tree skirt beneath it appears to be some sort of tribute to the new sun. Are there, like, religious elements to it? I mean, of course there is. That's the easiest way people give meaning to something they don't understand, but still, I didn't expect this kind of depth. Looks like we're on the roof now.
Warning, this is a pre-recorded announcement.
Damn, dude, ever heard of a pop filter? Try it sometime. It's the same announcement as before. Yada yada, non-Euclidean geometry, yada yada, that's not the sun. Yeah, no dip, it's not the sun, look at it. I'm surprised I can stand up here on the roof like this and not accumulate like radiation or something. What are these little dishes for? I saw one from a window earlier and thought it was just a satellite dish, but they appear to all be pointing at the not sun. This tells me that they're either monitoring it in some way or that they're harnessing energy from it. It could be either. Or maybe they are satellite dishes and the not sun gives us access to intergalactic TV channels. That would be cool. It's been a long time since I've caught an episode of Blarg Schmallow the World Eater and Friends, the most popular sitcom this side of the Milky Way. Earth really needs to get on that. Hey, this area's kinda nice. I'm loving the mix of colors. Cosmic horrors aside, this place is an absolute vibe. If you head up a floor, you come out onto this veranda, complete with fairy lights and shaded seating. This really isn't so bad. Like, if you swapped out the spooky ambient sounds for some generic synthwave track, this would be a great place to play some cards and mung down on some poutine or something. Oh, and who is this shadowy fellow up here? That's not a cardboard cutout. It's John Voidplace himself. At least they look friendly? Have they been here the entire time? Well, you do you, buddy. Don't go into any non-Euclidean space or whatever. Apparently, it's bad for you. I found all the vending machines also. There's 4 of them to find, and you have to interact with them in order. Once you do, it unlocks this door down here, which brings me to probably the most interesting feature of the Voidplaces series. The author pinkblack has made 5 maps in all so far, and they're all interconnected, meaning that by having all the maps downloaded, you can move from one Voidplace map to another by finding an entrance in-game. This one, for example, leads to a map called U-Complex. And that's not the only one either. There's another corridor down here, there's also a puzzle with some TVs that you could do, and if you jump down into this pit, guess what? That's another map transition. It's a really cool feature. Having these organic, unlockable gateways joining the worlds together is such a cool idea. I'm surprised that it's not more prevalent in other Gmod maps. I want to say that if you consider all the maps as one cohesive experience, the Voidplaces series is closer in total playtime to a standalone game than just a Garry's Mod add-on. And that claim is reinforced by the sheer amount of custom content exhibited here. Every single texture and model is tailor-made, which is always so impressive to me. I cannot overstate just how much damn work it is to make this many textures and get them correctly formatted for the source engine. They all have this low-fidelity, retro horror feel to them that I love. It makes everything feel hazy and unsettling. It's very similar to that PS1 horror aesthetic that was made popular in the mid to late 2010s by games like Power Drill Massacre and Dusk. Really, in terms of aesthetics, this map knocks it out of the park. It's an analog horror experience with liminal space influences and just a dash of cosmic horror thrown in there as a seasoning. The new sun of this world is inescapable and horrifying, but damn does it make for a good-looking map. I'm sure there's a couple Easter eggs and whatnot that I didn't find, but I think I've had my fill here. The pink is wearing me down. It's making me see things that aren't even showing up in OBS. I swear I saw something crawling on the ceiling down in the lower levels earlier, but when I looked at my recording feed, it was already gone. pinkblack's work here is incredible, and there's much more where this came from. So let me know if you want to see me explore more of these Voidplaces maps. I believe it's time for the final map, is it not? Let's do it. The last map that does not want us to be there is called And It Is Snowing Again by Fatalyst. We're taking on the role of some sort of service technician sent out to the middle of nowhere to bring an old system back online. And let it be known, this is the middle of nowhere. There's nobody around. Only the dark forest encroaching from all directions, the night only held back by the precious few sources of lights that are scattered around. This sort of darkness is special. You don't get nights like this unless you're reasonably far from civilization. I have to wonder, though, whose toes we stepped on back home to get sent all the way out here. I guess we should get inside before my bones freeze. Oh, it's locked. It didn't cross anyone's mind to make sure I had the code that I need to do my job? There it is, 2323. I should be surprised, but I'm really not. Good communication skills are more rare than you might expect. The fact that you can open these lockers here and hide in them is concerning to me. I really hope that's just for flavor and that I don't really need to do that later. This place really isn't too bad, though. I've definitely worked at worse. Look, we've even got an employee kitchen and it's stocked. What more could you ask for? I have to wonder why there's a whole harpoon leaned up into the corner of the bathroom, though. That's a mystery to me. Upstairs is where all the monitoring equipment is, along with a gun locker. There's no gun, though, only ammo. Where did the gun go? Is it a BYOG type of workplace? Over here is our list of tasks to be completed. First things first, log into the system and boot up the antenna on the roof. Dunyan rings. Check the cameras. Yep, all good. Man, this job is easy. Check UPL? What does UPL stand for? Whatever it is, it's near a bus stop apparently, which means going back outside. Ugh, it is miserable out here. This is sitting at a desk sipping hot coffee weather, not UPL weather. Maybe it stands for Uh-oh, poor Logan. Oh, here's the bus station. Would it have killed them to write down some directions? The phone line's been cut. That's interesting. This isn't really a spot where you'd expect maladjusted teens to hang out, so I think this damage might be more deliberate than that. Like, someone's trying to keep me from phoning home. Well, here's the UPL. Just gotta turn the two doohickeys, which will charge the what's-it, therefore powering the Tuya. But everyone knows this already. I mean, come on. It's a UPL. Oh, wait, is that a little convenience store? There's a chair up on the roof for some reason. The lights are on. Let's check it out. I guess nobody's around. Usually when you come into a store like this and there's no cashier, they're in the back room playing Candy Crush or something. You actually can get back there if you go around to the back door, and it looks like there is nobody here. Did they just forget to close down the shop? Somebody's getting fired. Maybe they just left to use another building's bathroom since there isn't one here at the store. There is a sink in the back, but no toilet, so I despise the implication of the bucket. I take the opportunity to shoplift something, but nothing here looks good. They don't even have gummy frogs. What convenience store worth its salt doesn't have gummy frogs? It should be required by law, if you ask me. Up on the roof, the chair looks like it's facing some factory far off in the forest. You can see the smokestack billowing from here. I wonder why they were watching it. Alright, back to it, I guess. Oh. That's not cool. You can rewind the video and check if you want to, but I'm pretty sure I closed this door when I left. Is there someone else in here? Look at this, a bunch of stuff is knocked over. It wasn't like this before. I checked all of the rooms and all the cameras, and there's nobody here. The bathroom door was open, though, so maybe it really was the convenience store cashier using our toilet and we just missed each other. Still doesn't explain why he was throwing things around, though. Yeah, maybe it would be wise not to have the code to the front door visible from the window. Just a thought. Not exactly a key hidden under a mat, is it? The next task on the list is to activate 3 data transmitters around the map. Sounds easy enough. What is that? Wait, what is that? Oh, it's just a snowman. Sorry, buddy. I thought you were a rake or something. Yeah, this map really has me on edge. I remember seeing one transmitter near the bus stop, so let's do that one. Easy. And then I think there was one outside the store, right? Yeah, here it is. Now where would the third one be? Let's have a look around. There's an old village here, but I don't think the transmitter's there. Oh, here it is. Wait, it's broken? Who would commit such atrocities against a National Weather Service? I mean, I'm assuming that's what we're doing out here. There's some sort of pillbox-style bunker here, too. Inside, there's a crowbar wedged underneath this metal hatch, as if someone was trying to get inside of it. I'll be having that, thank you. Maybe it was the same crook who broke our transmitter. We actually have spare transmitters in storage, so I'm just gonna grab one and pop it down here. There we go. Now all that's left to do is to enable data transfer on the computer back at the building. First, though, I feel like it would behoove me to snoop around that village. You don't just walk past a series of abandoned houses like that and not pop your head inside. Not where I'm from. Yeah, definitely seen better days. There's a light coming from that window, that's weird. Someone left their TV on. I guess the TV's shy. There's a document here, looks to be a diary entry. It's from the person who used to live in this building. They were here on vacation, and according to their writing here, the local people of this village had been living here for years, far away from society. It mentions them talking about some lord from the depths, and the residents making frequent visits to the basement nearby at night. And the writer doesn't seem to be that bright, since they mention that they plan on asking the villagers about their fabled overlord, despite them acting strange around him. Typically, the best thing to do in that scenario is to feign interest, but not to dig too deep. I've been there before, trust me. I am great at talking to hermit weirdos. I should look around, maybe find that basement the diary mentions. I wonder why this place was abandoned in the first place. It doesn't look like it's been empty for all that long, maybe a decade or two. There's some blood in this house and some signs of a struggle. The stain on the wall could be from the exit wound of a gunshot, so maybe two people sitting across from each other here had a disagreement that edited bloodshed. Around the back here is a freaky painting of an animal character with some words of encouragement. No matter how bad everything is going for the better. Huh. Not that encouraging, actually. Who is this? It's pretty fresh by the looks of it, like it was painted here within a matter of weeks. It looks like somebody's Undertale OC. So I guess this is the basement? It doesn't open, that's disappointing. Not far from it is a grave. The headstone says, "It was a simple man, desiring freedom and goodness. However, having gone there one day, he lost everything once and for all." That's ominous as hell. Did they kill the guy vacationing here because he snuck down into the basement and saw something he wasn't supposed to see? Nice of them to bury him properly, even if it is a bit unsavory to put the circumstances of his death here on the headstone. That would be like if somebody died of heart disease and then their headstone said something like, "Fat boy here couldn't stay away from the cookies and carbs and he paid the price for it." You don't want that. Nobody wants that. There's not much else to see here, so I guess it's time to get back to work. And the door is open again. What the hell, guys? Am I being punked? Oh, thank God, the gamer fuel is still here. They got up onto the roof this time and broke the antenna, but that's an easy fix. You just turn it off and then back on again. But still, who keeps breaking in here? Why do they have such visceral hatred for Doppler radar? That's one of the few technologies humans have come up with that's like objectively good for everyone. Are you trying to hide? It's useless. Well, I wasn't before, but now I'm thinking those lockers look pretty cozy. The very last task to be completed on the list is to make sure the generator is running in the other building. Why is this inside? For starters, I don't even think it's possible to get this thing in here looking at the size of the door and the window. And also, do you see this great big tubular thing on the top of it? That's the exhaust. Toxic fumes come out of there when it runs. A room this small will be completely unbreathable in minutes, I bet. That is definitely going on my report when I get back. There's no gas here either, so I have to go out looking for some. Fortunately, I remember seeing a canister at that village, but if I never found that, I'd be steamed. Oh, what's this? There's an old abandoned house here. I didn't see this before. I I can't quite see all the way inside. Wait, I picked up a crowbar earlier. I knew I needed somewhere. I mean, it's pretty much exactly what I expected. What's this patch of dirt back here? It's just swallowing up the wooden floor. That's eerie. Maybe this is where the villagers would come to converse with the Lord from the depths. I wonder what sorts of rituals they would be asked to perform. There's a piece of writing here with some itchy-tasty nonsense on it about being doomed to darkness or whatever, and a plastic explosive? Oh, you know what? I bet you a Subway sandwich it's used to bust into that bunker. Yep. That sandwich would have been mine. Alright, let's see why someone was trying to bust in. If there's a copy of myself down here only 50 years older, that would freak me out, but it would make sense from a narrative perspective of my life, you know? Huh. There's controls for the door, a ham radio, some boxes of supplies. Pretty standard fare as far as bunkers go. Did that radio just make a noise? Is someone listening to me? This staircase goes down a couple stories. It's all flooded. Don't try this at home, kids. Or away from home, for that matter. There could be all sorts of nastiness in stagnant underground water. Actually, this water is surprisingly clear. Usually when it's been still for this long, the water is so full of bacteria and particulate matter that it looks like a solid until you step into it. The tunnels down here are a flooded concrete maze. It feels like I've been in them for 10 minutes at this point, but I'm impatient, so it's probably only been like 2. What's this room? There's a button, and you know what we do with those in this house. That's right. I guess we're going further in. This doesn't look good. The ceiling is all fractured, likely from some sort of earthquake or something. It's definitely not just water damage. Yeah, somehow I knew that would happen, and yet I walked in here anyway. What is that? Are those eyes? Excuse me, what? Oh. It was all a dream. Oh, man, I live like a slob. Take me back. What did that say? Something about a simulation? And that is the end of the map. Or rather, an ending of the map. I got the Buried in Darkness ending. Normally, this is where I would stop the video and say explore the map for yourself to see if you can get a different ending. But this time, I'm feeling like doing some overtime. If you want to play the map for yourself and see which ending you get, feel free to skip to the outro chapter of the video. There are 3 endings you can activate in all. One of the other ones can be activated by just going about your tasks and completing your shift like a good boy. Which is exactly what I was lined up to do before my curiosity got the better of me down in that bunker. Once you've done all the tasks, several events happen on a timer. First, the grate in the back room will break. Then, after a few minutes pass, the front door will open on its own, which makes for a real creepy moment if you catch it on the camera. Then finally there's a shattering sound outside, and when you check it you can see that the light has gone out. Below it is a note that says, "Do not expect your sins to be forgiven just like that." Well, damn, dude, these locals really hate the National Weather Service, huh? What did they ever do to you? If they're as disconnected from society as that diary in the village leads me to believe, maybe they think that this station can control the weather, and they're sick of their crops not growing because of the cold. So this is them taking matters into their own hands. Maybe. None of that explains the missing cashier at the store, or the cut phone line, or really anything else for that matter. After a while you get to clock out and we get the simulation screen again, only this time it says that the experiment was a success. It ends the same way with you all alone in your horrible little apartment. The last ending is called the System Breakdown ending, and it's my favorite of the 3. You actually don't even need to bother with the station or the UPL or anything like that. You can just head straight to the bunker, grab the crowbar, then use that to grab the explosives, then head back to the bunker and descend the labyrinth all the way to the bottom. Except this time, once you activate this button, you have to go back up instead of heading further in. At the top floor of the bunker, the door is now open. There's a long vertical shaft going down, and if you throw something into it, bam! That's weird, right? First of all, what kind of a weakling simulation can be ruined by a single soda can? Look at that, status unknown. Damn right, status unknown. When you come to in your apartment this time, things are different. There's an alarm going off in the distance somewhere and the door is unlocked. Turns out, you've been being watched the whole time by some perverts with a double-sided glass wall. So, what are they even testing for to begin with? What kind of a person are they trying to create? If the only experiment deemed a success was the one where I do my assigned job like an obedient wage slave, then this system is redundant. The public school system already creates people like that. If you peek through the door right here, you can see a big emblem that reads Blue Mountain Laboratories. The map ends with the character saying they need to break down this door, then we fade to black. Kick ass. This map was fantastic. It was effortlessly creepy and unsettling without having any cheap jump scares, which is enough to earn my respect on its own. But then they turned it up to 11 with the interactable elements and the exploration. The map's not even that big, but there's so much to find and uncover. Exploring that village was a real highlight for me, even if you couldn't go down into that basement they were building up to. I need a sequel. Fatalyst, if you're watching, please continue this. I want to know what's going on with the experiments so badly. Like, are we the only test subject? What are they testing for? What's the deal with the Lord from the Depths? It's just such an interesting map, man. So much to uncover. It's got a great atmosphere, too. Those moments where the door is open when you return to the building were genuinely unsettling. Really, really good stuff here. And those are all the unwelcoming maps that I had lined up for this episode. That was some great variety. With every world we explored today, it felt like we didn't belong there for different reasons. The K9 storage facility obviously has something sinister going on there, given that it's a bunker made to imprison possessed animatronics. Void Places feels like it wants to keep you there for all eternity, haunted by the omnipresent pink light. And that's exactly why you shouldn't be there. And It's Snowing Again ended up being a simulation. Some people might see that trope as low-hanging fruit, but man, I sure don't. I love it when the player gets put at the center of some elaborate conspiracy. It's such an enigma, the Source Engine. It's not specifically built to facilitate creepy places, but it sure feels like it is sometimes. There's also something to be said for the lengths that Half-Life 2 went to incorporate horror elements, despite its action FPS core. I think that aspect and the assets that come with it help Gmod maps out a ton when it comes to building atmosphere. All 3 maps were just excellent. I feel like we had such a good lineup this time. And as always, all of these maps are linked in the description if you wanted to check them out for yourselves. That's really all I had to say for this episode. Thanks again to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video. They've been really good people to work with. Don't forget to use the code C750 if you decide to order something. An extra special shout out to all my supporters on Patreon. You guys are the glue. And by saying that, I really hope the supporters that are horses don't get offended. I didn't mean it like that. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to wash your pillowcases every now and then, especially if you struggle with acne. Alright, see ya.